Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's actually my pleasure to have, the following guest today to share with us on this topic that all of you will be interested in. And we currently have about 130 people live now with us. I will actually introduce all our guests concurrently. Currently, we actually have four very, very interesting guests who will be actually sharing in regards to the spa, beauty, wellness industry. So if you are part of this industry, please join us and give us some feedback. And if you have some FAQ or questions, please key it down, leave us some comments, and we'll try to address it at the end of this session. So before I continue, let me introduce myself. I'm Celestia Faith Chong, and I will be hosting this session. All right. So now I will actually introduce the four of our speakers, a little bit about them before I pull them on screen. Okay, first I will actually have Mr. Edward Wong. He's the president of the Spa and Wellness Association of Singapore, and he is also holding a master degree in business administration as well as a certified member of the Institute of Management Consultants and also a registered management consultant under Enterprise Singapore, which is ESG. So Mr. Wong himself is a veteran in the beauty and wellness industry with over 40 years of management experience in distribution, retail, and operating spas as well as salon. And next one, I think a lot of people will know. She is actually Miss Donit. She's from the group. She's the group and marketing as well as business development director from the Genie Group. And she herself, this power lady, she has helped Genie Group achieve several milestones and awards, as well as many of the top brand awards such as the SPBA, the Heritage Board, Super Brands, Reader Digest, Trusted Brands, Influential Brands, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Well, and then it has since expanded to more than 70 outlets. Amazing 70 outlets and offices in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, China, and Japan. And today, Genie Group umbrella consists brands such as the Oriental Hair Solutions, the Six Elements Hair Spa, Gene It Loft, the Cheryl W Wellness, and Weight Management, all of which provide services and products to meet the beauty, wellness, and lifestyle of modern consumers. Next, we have Dr. Yvette Chiang. She's one person you have to look out for, okay? She's actually the principal of the Singapore Spa Institute, which is the SSI. And over the years, her expertise has actually gained her local and regional recognition. All right, politicians, Indonesia royalties, celebrities, and business tycoons in Asia count among her clients. And locally, she also conducts health seminars and talks for various organizations in both the private and the public sectors. Okay, she's the guru of the industry for more than 30 years, and Dr. Yvette's forte in product development and training have distinguished her creation in the industry as an innovator of unique made in Singapore therapies and touch. And last but not least, we all know that technology is the thing. Technology is the thing that we all need to look out for. And we will have Mr. Raymond Oy, who is the CEO of Refine Solutions. So he's a very techie guy, okay? Very macho techie guy. And he has a deep passion for beauty and wellness industry. So he has actually founded the company in 2008 and developed WESS with the goal to bring power and affordability of cloud technology to the beauty and wellness space. And he has been working closely, with the association and sector champions, relevant government agencies to promote and encourage the adoption of IT by the industry. And today, WESS is supporting more than 1,500 spas and salons in Singapore and Malaysia. Okay, so now, before we start, maybe I'll just give a bit of a summary and rundown what you're going to expect today, okay? Now that we heard all of our speakers, I'm sure all of you must be excited. But now this is the thing that we are concerned with, and that's why we are coming here to share this with you from SWAS, okay? Because we all understand COVID-19, this pandemic is a global crisis affecting all the major economies. And it is so sudden and coming so strong is causing such a disruption to the revenues and the values of businesses. And many previously high performance companies has suddenly become unprofitable or even insolvent. We have seen that. Okay, so now many businesses in Singapore especially are dependent on the government support for survival. And the full impact of COVID-19 is still unknown. We have yet to know how this thing is going to affect us or for how long, what is the period. No one knows, okay? And business sustainability in terms of employment, recovery in the tourism, F&B, retail, and service industries are totally uncertain. So the overall economic outlook for Singapore in 2020 and 2021 is really depressing. So, but the thing is, we need to stand together with one voice and see how we can help each other. So right now, I would like to bring in all our speakers, all right? So let me just bring in Mr. Edward on board. So Mr. Edward, you are in.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Mr. Edward. Thank you.
Hi, Celeste.
Yes. Thanks for sparing your time today because, everyone is very concerned, especially people who are in the spa and wellness industry. And I actually personally understand because I have been seeing a lot of people sharing this petition going on, I believe it's a petition and survey. So this is an initiative that is conducted by SWAS. So I understand there's a survey to understand the impact of this COVID-19 situation, currently. So, Mr. Edward, are you able to share more on this?
Yes. Well, we send this petition out, or actually it's a survey plus petition. Right. So we sent this out in May after the government extended the circuit breaker. And so far we have gathered about 700 or over 700 responses. Now, about 2/3 of the responses came from the beauty sector and about 30% from the spa sector. The survey shows that employment numbers have actually reduced since March 20 by about 27%. Of course, cash flow has been very tight because there's no income with the circuit breaker. So it's taking a toll on the industry. Many salons and spas are still paying rent, salaries, and other expenses. Now, financial resources, unfortunately, are depleting, and the industry may not be able to withstand a longer period of lockdown without income. Before the Fortitude budget, about 2/3 of those surveyed say they may not be able to sustain their workers for more than one more month. So workers would have to be released or asked to take unpaid leave if the circuit breaker is going to continue beyond the end of June. About half of those surveyed also say they may quit and close the business. It's really sad. Well, this is my response to the question, Celeste.
Right. Okay. But how do you actually feel that, based on this, we actually, we've actually monitored that the Singapore government has offered to support employment in the job support scheme, right? So how do you think actually this scheme is helping the industry?
Okay, the government has offered 25% JSS to the beauty and wellness industry.
Right.
The 20% is based on salary plus the employee's CPF contribution. Businesses will have to pay for the employer's part of the CPF contribution. While we appreciate the government's help with JSS to ease the cash flow, we actually do not get 75% as widely believed. We only get 25% subsidy. The extra money given are advancement or loan made to the businesses, which must be repaid and deducted automatically when the time comes. Many people, especially the employees, do not understand this. They think the government has paid, the employees I'm talking about, the government has paid them 75% of their salary through their employers. And many are making noises that their employer or employers are cheating them. This is a gross misunderstanding. The employer only get 25% help to pay for, not even enough to cover the CPF. If you look at it, CPF for the employee is 20%. The employer has to pay depending on the age of the employee. Let's say if you are in the range of below 55, you are paying between 14 and 16%. So I say average 15%. So 20% plus 15%, the employer has to pay 35% of your salary to CPF. And the employer only get 25% subsidy from the government. Okay? I would like to also say this, just to make it easier to understand. Let's say if your salary is, wages is 10,000, to make it easy to understand, 10,000. The company has to pay $3,500 in CPF. And the company only get 25% of the 10,000 and 25% of that 2,000, which the employee contribution part, add together 12,000, 25% of that is $3,000. So the company still have to cough out $500 to pay for CPF. Now, the first payment in April is based on last year's wages from October to December. An additional 50% of last October's wages was advanced. And this 50% has to be paid back in July, in 2 months' time. Then again, in May, we just received another advancement of 75% of November 2019's wages, which we have to pay back in October this year. Okay, it's not given free. You have to pay back. I have colored just now in the chart, to show the schedule of payment. So and this is based on $10,000. I make it easy for everybody to refer to this chart. $10,000 as a factor. So if your business is let's say $25,000 wages that you pay, you just take 2.5 times 10,000, you more or less get a rough estimate. If your business is paying $1 million in wages, you just take the 10,000 multiplied by 100 times. So this chart would help you better understand or estimate what you are committed to.
Okay. Sure. Right. Right. Thanks, Edward. I think it has been very insightful because I think a lot of our employees are thinking otherwise. Like, wow, government so good, give so much subsidies to the employers, and then what they do with all our money? You mean they save a lot of money? They sure can sustain. Why are they still complaining? But they don't understand how this whole actual structure is calculated. If not for you, I wouldn't have understand. I would have thought like what everyone thinks. I was just like, wow, employers not bad. A lot of support from government. So yeah, but this is a great detailed analysis. Thanks, Edward. So now we will actually bring on our next guest as well. So we would like to welcome Dawn. Dawn, are you ready? I'm gonna flash you now. Turn. We're gonna have Dawn.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Make it smaller so you can see everybody. Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Hi. Good, very good. Yes, busy. Yeah, very busy also during this time. In fact, I think all the management staff and the employers are the most busy people now at this point of time. Yes.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Dawn, I'm really curious because You have so many outlets in Singapore, you know. I mean, if you are talking about one outlet, those having one or two outlets, they are already suffering like that, you know. But your
Yeah, of
case,
course.
you have so many. How does the whole
Yes.
G group handle this situation? We are all like question mark,
Okay.
no how.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Like you say lah, if you be 10,000 is 10,000 problem. 1 million is 1 million problem. So basically, we are actually grateful that the government give us some assistance, but it's really very good that Edward has clarified, you know, with the whole situation, actually how they do the calculation. In fact, in the beginning, when the government didn't say anything about that, so from April and May, for my company, the first thing we do is actually to talk to the staff that this is an unprecedented crisis. So, you know, it's like 我们同一条船, you know, we are in the same boat where
Right.
we have to survive together. So you really have to garner all the support from your staff, all the employees, and let them understand this is not the normal time, you know. It's not that I want to cut your pay or what. So basically, the first thing we do is to talk to the staff that this is going to happen. In fact, in March, you already see the situation. The business has dropped quite a lot already, you know.
Right.
So, of course, you know, you have to be an understanding boss. When the business drop a lot, you cannot blame it on the staff. They are still working as hard. But it's just that the situation causes it. So basically, we have start changing a bit of our way of what do you call it? Understanding the staff situation and everybody that we are going to a storm. We can see the dark clouds in front already. So the first thing is to garner support. And very fortunately, because our company has been a long 38 years of history, we are very, very happy and very proud that most of our staff, in fact, I should say 99.9% actually supported the company. And we explained to them, you know, this is the situation, so what are we going to do? So, of course, for the first 2 months, we, for April and May, we gave the 100% of their basic salary. But we also explained to them, some part of it, if you can use your paid leave. That means you use up your paid leave, because that 2 months, you're not going to do anything. There's no zero income for a company. So they were very cooperative. Some of them, they clear their leave, paid leave. So you still get paid, but you clear your leave. So that I told them the reason is now we when the business opened back, we have to go and work very hard, you know, to get back what we have missed. So some of them cleared their leave. So unpaid, they use their paid leave. So the second group was to time bank, you know, because this time banking is actually, MOM have actually also given such advice. Time banking means, for example, now, maybe let's say you work 10 days. I mean,
Right.
let's say if you pay full pay, of course, we need you to work back, because you can't be working 100%, especially the operational staff. They can't even see the customer or what. So only of course, the office staff are still working. Yeah, so the people, let's say, not doing any productive work, we explained to them and they were willing to time bank with the company. So that means they owe the company a certain number of days or hours. And then during this period, when they when the COVID-19 the circuit breaker is stopped, we can come back to work, maybe work a bit longer hours or work on public holidays, just to so-called return back to the company. So this is the second thing, that they are very cooperative. Of course, those who are still working, we consider them time banking even during this COVID period. Yeah. And then the third thing is actually to make them understand that this is not going to go back to normal already from now on. In fact, very, very no, you know, you see now we are having interview online and everything. So the first thing is we want to ask them to learn how to, actually the most important part is to brace themselves for it. Okay, go and learn some more. Learn how to live the new way, the new life, to learn and gather skills to increase their productivity and to understand what they need in future. And then as far as on the management and the financing side, we really have to actually do a very deep calculation for all the, you know, how long you're going to sustain. You have to explain and be very open with your staff. Hey, we can make it through, but only with your support. So a lot of, in the past 2 months, we started, actually we have this shop at Genie, you know, for quite some time, but actually nobody really bothered to activate, right? Suddenly you see all the deliveries start coming out. You notice? Yes, human beings are very such. We always, don't need lah. They come to our shop can already. And then suddenly now cannot come, right? So what to do? We already. It was fortunate that we already prepared ourselves, that we have a shop at Genip to buy products. Of course, we can't garner service. So at that point of time, we actually opened shop and then encourage our staff to tell customer that go online and buy your product, because you can't do your facial, you can't do you can't wash your hair or whatever, you still need the product, right? So come and buy it online for us. Yeah. So that was one thing that we saw it happening. Of course, it's not as fast, as the number, but of course you should see, especially on our side, we have the hair side, was allowed to open on the 12th of May, and they're only allowed to do haircut. So of course we want to open all the shops are open for haircut. This is a service to the customer. Honestly, you're not going to make money with you still have to pay your rent, your staff and everything, but at least we know that there is something to do. We want to encourage staff to actually don't just sit at home and wait, like waiting for things to happen. We have to make things happen. So we want to encourage them to come back to work. And those who, but of course, when we come back to work, we also have the new norms. Now you have to prepare for all the safety measures, because it's not only about staff safety, but it's customer safety, and it's also trust. We need to build our customer trust. We need to build the staff trust. This is what we do. So we still have our regular Teams meeting, because we use the MS Soft Teams for our company. We have regular Teams meeting with our staff. Actually, is to keep in contact and keep the momentum going. We cannot just leave them alone. What is happening? But actually, we are quite. My company is blessed that we have very good and loyal staff, that they are doing the part they can do. And I also thank them for being so understanding. So finally, I think one of the biggest thing that we have to look into is the government grant for training. Because all these training grants all the time they have, but now they are much more generous. So while you are training, the government is paying for your training. I think we should not miss this opportunity, right? We really must take advantage of this opportunity. And the other part is the transformation for business. So what we do is we're going to embark on, of course, we already started our digitization program and digital journey about 2 years ago. In fact, this, everybody knows, is no ordinary disruption. So this one, the COVID-19 is actually the most powerful advocate of the digitization and the disruption, because you as a CEO and even the people in Singapore, we still like to go to the shop, look at things, but now more and more of them are embarking on this so-called the digital age. So in fact, even online, you can see the older people are starting to learn, how to use Pay Now and all this. So I think it's not a bad thing. It's actually kickstart and speed up our progress. But on the other side, we also have to learn how to adapt and adjust to the future. And I really, really think one of the most important things is we must prepare ourselves. We must learn, and we must actually embrace this new technology and this new normal. We call it the new normal. Okay, in terms of safety measures, all the health and hygiene and all this, embrace technology and go and learn how we can rework, redesign, and actually rejuvenate our whole industry. I think that would be one of the most, a positive way to look at this whole issue situation. So I think that now the most important, in fact, now at this time, actually when we started was 1 month. Then when they extended the second month, I said, you all better go and study already. So a lot of my staff are taking courses, online courses and all this thing. And it's really interesting that actually you still have your same lifestyle. You still meet, like online now, I seen you live, Of course, it's not as good as, we can hug each other, but then still, So we're still very good that we can still see your face, So we still see what, how you look and all this. Wouldn't how each other. Even now, the good thing is you can even express to all over the world. It's not only Singapore. So I think this is the part that we have to embrace. So my advice to the whole industry is we learn to adapt ourselves and embrace. This is the only way, right? Change is the only concern. So we have to adapt to change. So I think non-stop, we call it the skills future, and all this actually is a lifelong learning that we have to embrace. Right. That's all I would say.
Yeah, actually, I have another question. You see, Genip Group is doing well in terms of strategy and trying to combat the whole situation, right? How would you advise, those companies, how do you advise them to prepare themselves for reopening, for that day? You will come on, will be not open, permanently. Yeah. But how do they prepare? They cannot wait for that day first, then they want to
you really have to, okay. So basically now the main thing is the hygiene. The first thing is you need to have the customer trust. It's like, I know it's the germs are out there. How are you going to protect me and, from all this contamination? And that is the last thing we want it to have another lockdown again, right? That happened. So basically, before this happened, before the lockdown, before the CB, we already, government ESG has promoted the Clean Singapore, Clean SG, the SG Clean program. Yeah, the SG Clean program is actually the 7 points that we have to embrace and train our staff to follow the protocols, basic of protection and contact tracing, and all the sanitization work, the hygiene factor and blah, blah, blah. So they have the whole set. So actually we would really want to encourage our industry, especially because we have quite a close contact, right? With the customers for the hair, beauty, spa.
Very personal.
Yes, that is the reason why the more we need to be even higher standard of hygiene. So SG Clean is the standards they have already set. But on top of that, in our industry, I believe we have to even up, more. So in terms of hygiene, protection, sanitization, beauty industry is under a hygiene kind of industry. So that's the reason why it's very important that all of us actually have to embrace this. In fact, before all this happened, customer will come to the shop. If your shop is very dirty, nobody will dare to come. So this is the kind of standard, right, that people have to expect. Singapore is quite a clean country. I believe all the people who wants to come, they also have a certain expectation. Now we have to really up it, really up much more. Not. Of course, it's very inconvenient, with all the safe distancing, all the sanitization work. So for example, you will be actually very disrupted in the sense that, for example, for one customer, for a haircut example, one customer come in, after a cut, you go out, you have to sanitize the whole station, all the tools and everything. Right. Change and then use a lot of disposable things. That will increase the cost. But like I said, no choice, but we have to embrace. Then the second part is that the contact tracing and make sure that we follow very strictly all the tracing. Now we have the safe entry, and on top of safe entry for our industry, we even have to clock in the customer entry time and clock out time. Right. So you have to embrace. You have to take all these precautions. And I think even the way that we usually, last time you're not afraid when you go out. So you see, nowadays, most of our shops are in the malls. So they like to go down for smoke. Some of them they go down to smoke, and then everywhere they have distancing, but the smoke area no distancing. So the first thing we did was tell the management, hey, even go for smoking also cannot gather already. You have to, separate each other. So now we even have to come up with protocols that, for example, you go and buy your lunch. Rather, you go out and buy your lunch because we are afraid of contamination from outside. These germs is really very contagious in the sense that even, let's say, somebody sneeze or what. Now, of course, with the mask, the compulsory have the mask, it's much better. Yeah. So you mask already, at least you have the less. But you do not know that maybe rub the eyes or what, then they touch something, then the next person go and touch. So you see, all this distancing is because to prevent all this. So all the lifestyle have to change, the sanitization, I think I will ask everybody to bring a bottle of sanitizer in your bag, Everything you touch, you will sanitize. So it's not like, we call it like phobic, it's not about that, but it's really safe than be sorry. I think that those are the things you have to do. So as an industry, there are many things, So basically, I think I don't need to share the next step because I think from training to embrace yourself for the future, also all these safety measures and hygiene training, you can even go for a course.
Yes, that's
so correct. In SWAS, we of course, we as an association, I'm also a SWAS member. So we actually have a lot of understanding, and SWAS has came out with a lot of this training protocol or even advisory for us. So if you're a SWAS member, you get all these things in advance, so you can prepare yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. So it makes a lot of sense to come together with a single voice. And that's why it's also a call out to businesses
Yes.
out there, you know.
So because we want to,
yes,
yeah,
because
because
there's
we want
training
to,
provided, expertise provided, you know.
yes.
Yeah.
So because we want to also, based on all these requirements, we have to come as a single voice to talk to the government to give us support on all these costs that is related to this, you know. Of course, to embrace it, there's cost. Of course, how much the government support, we have to actually go and gather all this support so that we can go and speak to the government. We want to propose this set of hygiene factor. Now, how the government is going to support us. So basically, I mean, if you're a business person, you know you have to calculate all your costs. And in future, I do not know, maybe things may, like for example, the airlines already said the airline ticket cannot be so cheap anymore. You know, but maybe all the budget airline have to go also. So we have to accept it. I think you have to learn to accept it. Okay, embrace it, accept it, and then learn how to change and face it. That is the best way we can do.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thanks, Dawn.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank you so much.
It's not easy, no. I mean, it needs
Not
to
easy,
come from
it's
someone
really-
like you, because you not manage one country, you manage quite a few countries,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
under
some
you,
countries
a lot of
even
stress
worse,
and pressure.
Yeah, I mean, we are grateful Singapore at least give a bit of so-called support lah. Some countries no support at
Exactly.
all, no. Some countries no support at all. They just tell you, oh, you have to handle yourself. So everything you have to get whole day. You have to do sort of negotiation with the. Actually, staff is quite easy because we do have a relationship of staff. It's the landlords, you know, the supply chain, everything changed already. So the landlords, we also spend a lot of time negotiating with landlords. You know, how to settle the problem. I mean, we understand they have their costs, but you know, so yeah. Anyway, that's it lah.
It goes a long way. But thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing today. And
Yes,
later
thank
I'll bring you back to the screen because there are actually
Sure.
questions that we've seen in the comments. So now I'm going to invite Dr. Yvette. You can take a break,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
your makeup first. You know,
Yes,
we are in the
thank you.
to look good. I see you in a bit.
Yeah, see you. Thank you.
Okay, now let's welcome the next speaker that we are having, which is Dr. Yvette. Hello, Dr. Yvette. Hi.
Sorry to hear what Dawn and Jim share, yeah?
Yes. So first we have Edward. Edward shared a very different point in terms of how the rebates all come in hand and let us understand better, and also allow people from out of the industry understand better of how these rebates is being used. So, and then now we have just now we have Dawn sharing how her experience is in managing her current group, because she's actually have quite a few outlets, and for you it's a different thing, you know. So Yvette, Dr. Yvette, I would like to try from you, right? Are there a lot of companies sending their employees for training, and when do you think they are actually doing it?
Okay, like Dawn, Jimmy, right? They have really made the first moves even in April, yeah? Which a lot of companies did not actually manage to see this thing actually happening. They thought maybe June 2nd, everybody will actually come back. So they take their own sweet time, you know, waiting for answer until our Prime Minister have a statement in mid-April, right? Then, is it April? Yes. Then everybody start to kanchong already. Yeah.
Right.
So I also have been spending time talking to a lot of spa companies of why actually governments come up with grants like this, yeah? Because you see, our staff cannot actually work. You know, a therapist cannot do facial at home also, right? They cannot do anything at home. What they can do is only to have meeting with their bosses, or even they actually have their own in-house training. But all these are actually not covered under the government grant. So it's actually good at this point in time to actually send your staff for some upgrading program. And I think a lot of companies have, even a few spa companies have sent the staff to those soft skill, but the soft skill is not related to the spa industry. And it causes make the spa industry player a bit difficult. The staff actually cry. They say, I'm going to do assessment, I will do project. It's not related to my company. Then they say, I don't want to go on call. Then the bosses actually have problems, you know, because of course we have to say it very frankly, yeah. It's actually an upgrading program for the staff. Yeah, it might not relate to, like, you know, I'm a consultant. Maybe now I go for a leadership program. So they say, wow, this course nothing to do with me. But don't forget all this knowledge that actually an employee. When you actually have these courses, right, the knowledge go to who? You don't go to your company. You go to here. It's you.
True.
Yeah, so it's for your next path of career, whether, you know, for our spa industry, or maybe you can upgrade yourself to another sector level. So certificate also for you, yeah. And for company, how you can actually help company is that the company actually have absentee payroll grant. Your company actually get this grant and actually help to some of the expenses for the company. So I always tell the staff this is actually a good way of helping your company instead of having your job now is actually to help the company is to going through some courses. And here I actually want to share is that go to related courses. Don't go to courses that which is not related to our trade. Then you will make a kind of demoralizations to your staff, and then they're afraid to attend any courses. Like tourism diploma for spa industry. It might looks a bit scary, diploma, yeah. So some of them say, only secondary school O level. How can I actually attend a diploma like this? So a lot of people actually went to the wrong diploma, and then it's not related to the job, and they get fear. So that defeats the purpose of sending the staff.
So you're actually advising, companies to actually choose the course that's more appropriate, so that the staff will show interest and not be rejecting all these trainings.
Yes. Like example for tourism diploma, we talk about optimized sales, right? It can be actually for all trade, like this optimized sales. But if you're talking about sales in the retail shop, like selling clothes or selling shoes, right, it doesn't actually relate to the spa industry. But the optimized sales for spa industry, we actually have even more in-depth, and it's actually very messy. So I always tell people in the trade, if you actually learn how to manage how the spa industry actually do their sales, you can put the same kinds of model into your trade. I think you can make a good business. So if your staff actually go into optimized sales related to their field, yeah. Oh, I'm a consultant, I have to do sales, right? But they only know how to do sales. Yeah? They know they are doing report, but they don't know all these reports actually are part under which category. But when you do a course like that, they are more aware that optimized sales. Now I have to come out of budget. I have to see whether I can fit the budget, and I also have to know the costing. So it actually helps the companies to get the staff to know better. Don't throw everything to the accounts department. You see how the accounts department work, right? So you throw yourself into another department field. So next time when we are all back on ground again, then you can know how your colleagues work, and then everybody will work very peacefully. Because now I go through a course and even for HR to employ people, everybody go through the path and see how each other actually work in their field. So this is actually what is my advice is that you can go for courses, and you can actually, I think a lot of people have been posting on how to register, how to get the claim. So it is actually very easy that I think you can actually search for courses which is related to the industry field. Yeah. So we will actually have some hotline. I think we'll post it later so that you can actually we can answer your questions from there. Yeah.
So there's another question which I think a lot of companies are facing now due to the current situation. They have no idea when they can resume business, and even they resume business due to the safe distancing, they will not be able to have as much sales as before, and they are tightening their purse because they don't know when these things will even get better. So why do you think it makes sense for them to actually send their staff for training?
Okay, when you send your staff for trainings, you use your company SDN, Skill Connect, to apply for your staff for the training. It can actually run you 90%. If your staff actually have worked for the WTS letter, it actually run you up to 95%. So you might be paying, let's say, example, of $50 for your staff to attend this course, but in return, the absentee payrolls that they actually get back might be about $400 over. Yeah. So that actually help the companies to receive some fund, yeah, and with the staff absentee payroll, it also help some ways to do it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because with all these subsidies, right? Then with the staff being more equipped, they will be more ready when when the shop are ready to be opened.
Yeah.
So they are
yes. So now I think a lot will say, I have a lot of therapy. They speak Chinese, they don't speak English. Are they able to go into a diploma course? But if they are listening, they can actually even write a Chinese word and they are able to answer. They actually can still attend. But we're trying to actually convert some practical courses so that the therapists can go online to learn practical courses, like baby massage, lymphatic drainage, aromatherapy. So, which is more relevant to their practice also. And I think just now actually Dawn did share one thing, which I think this is actually very important to get it through. Dawn actually mentions that those SPA guidelines, the SG Clean, right? But SG Clean is for all industry. We should have our own guideline. So in our own SPA certification itself, we actually have this certificate called Provide Work Safety. Yeah. And we contextualize the work safety to SPA guidelines. And that actually measures on what Dawn mentioned, safety entry, what kind of documents we actually need to, social safety distance, and how our therapies and even people actually work in there have to wear all the personal protective equipment like PPE, which no choice, you have to do it. Either you do it and open your shop, or you don't do it and you close your shop. So if you actually have the chance to actually go back to work, all these have to follow. But how do we ensure to the government that people are all qualified on this thing? So we encourage this to go through this work safety measurement. So you don't have to ask people, hey, is going to do right, so I go do this, I'll do that, and then you start hearing from people, some give you correct information, some give you wrong. So we actually contextualize this program to make it systematic way, so that you can get all the correct knowledge from here. And if you can show your customer and the government that my people have all go through the work safety kind of certification, I think the government would like to support us.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Yvette. Thank you for all your views, because I think training is a huge concern, because now that most of the shops, I mean, all the shops can't be open except for the hairdressing part, right? The rest of the industry are very badly affected. So this is definitely a good time, a good call for everyone out there who's actually in this industry to send their staff for training. So if you do have any inquiries on how to go about doing it, don't be afraid to approach SWAS for help, because we are in this together, and that's why we're having this sharing session. So thank you, Yvette. So I will invite, yes.
Yeah, sorry, I think there's one, I think just a very short share.
Sure.
Asking, MNC company can apply or not? Can. There is no cutting for any MNC company. As long as you have Singaporeans and PR, you are able to claim the grant.
Right. So basically it's for everybody. I would say, yeah, it's for everyone. So I don't think, okay, so people out there who's actually listening, it's for everyone, instead of staying at home and thinking what's going to be next and worrying about die. Don't say die, because the more we equip ourselves, knowledge is power. Let's get ready, let's get ready for things to get better. And when things are better, we are equipped with the right knowledge because we went through the proper training. So if, in any case, Yvette is part of SWAS as well. So just come to us, talk to Dr. Yvette. She's amazing when it comes to training. She'll give you the best advice for your organization at this point especially. So thank you, Dr. Yvette. So I'll put you off screen for a while. Later we'll have an FAQ session, and then you'll be on screen again. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so now it's the IT part, okay? And this part is very important because of we're all going digital now, and it's actually part and parcel of businesses. So for business who has not actually went into this arena, right? We have actually Raymond, a very nice and friendly guy you could approach. He's part of SWAS too. So let me just put Mr. Hunky Raymond online. Let me put a smile on his face first. Hello, Raymond. I just described.
Hi, Celeste. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I'm not hunky now, after 2 months of lockdown. Yeah.
Okay, how are you? I'm sorry you're the last speaker because
no problem.
Save the best thing for last. No, I'm just kidding. All the speakers I we all cover different areas. So, Raymond, I'd like to find out from you. You see, with more and more people going online, right? Is there any online solution that can be easily adopted? Because the thing, right? There are so many things online that we have. In Google, you say, I want this solution, I want that solution, right? There'll be so many choices, and how would you actually advise them, on which one to choose? It's like, now it's information overload. It's really about looking for the right person That's why we always talk about reviews, or looking for, specialists like yourself, to actually give some, to give some advice to business owners out there. Yeah, Raymond, advise us, please.
Yeah, if I were to list all of them, I'll probably, it'll probably be supper time, and we are not done yet. I'm not
Okay,
done
okay.
yet.
The
Yeah.
must have. Give us the must
Yeah,
have.
but I will mention a few, starting from the most simplest and common one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we talk about digital or online solutions, the first that come into mind will probably be social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I believe most of the businesses will already probably be at least be on one of them, if not more, right? And for the past 2 months, I've actually seen many turn to social media to continue market and make their presence known, right? However, while that is important, we must remember that during a lockdown or pandemic, maintaining personal connections with your customers is the most crucial. You must be connected, else any exposure will not be remembered, honestly, right?
True,
Yeah,
true.
yeah. So, furthermore, many may think that personal upkeep is not a priority now. They are all at home, right? But care and concern is very comforting. Yeah. Plus, when people look good, they will feel good. Yeah. So that's how, right? So be connected. Yeah. And you don't actually require to use social media or any complicated tools to do that. A simple WhatsApp video call will suffice, right? Start with your VIPs, message them, then give them a video call ultimately. Have a little chat and provide some simple DIY tips, that they can actually do at home, right? Yeah. But if you are the social media kind, well, you can you can do a live stream on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, right? Invite all your customers to come on board, and you can interact with all of them at once. Yeah.
Like what we're doing now.
But of course, when you do a live stream, you must plan a simple routine, right? Use your products, and during your live stream, you can even upsell them as home kits. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So last week I happened to actually attend one of my customers' stream. She managed to actually gather over 100 viewers. That's fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, she was giving a very simple 5 minutes facelift demonstrations using her products and giving away some of her vouchers. Saying that once we reopen, you can actually use that voucher and come and claim for my treatment. It was very casual. And she was calling out to all her customers' name as they actually joined. So there's actually definitely interactions and connections there. And I find that absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Now, when you when you do all these connections and all that, you upsell your products. When they place orders, now you can actually request them to actually pay you simply through PayNow. I believe most people have experienced PayNow by now, and it's actually very easy. Yeah. And even delivery today, it's also not difficult. You can use apps such as Grab Delivery. It's like grabbing a So yeah, so all this actually are very simple things you can actually do. No special tools required, and best of all, you can start planning and you can do it almost immediately. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, actually, it makes a lot of sense for you to actually suggest all these solutions. So I was actually thinking, Raymond, like, besides this continuing this customer engagement thing, right? Is there any solutions that a business should go for after reopening, or should they get it before that to try to learn how to use it first?
Yeah, they should actually start exploring now. And the first one they should actually consider looking for is an online booking solutions, right? Especially if you don't have it yet. You wouldn't want all your customers to actually come at the same time or mess up your appointments, right? And have them wait and crowded at your salons or near your salons. Or worse, leaving feeling disappointed. After all, they haven't been coming to you for 2 months. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and furthermore, with pre-booking, you can actually try to push as many premium services to your non-peak hours. and quicker basics or essential services to your peak hour. So if this is managed well, you might be able to actually service more customers during your peak and earn more during your non-peak, optimizing your income generation. Yeah.
Okay. But how do you think we could actually adjust according to the current situation right now? Because what happens is like before even we enter the mall, right? Sometimes there's even a queue, and mall also restrict the number of people going inside the mall. So how can we actually use this kind of system to help us? We
Yeah,
do
so
more time?
have an online booking solution coupled with maybe a good spa or salon management system, right? You can actually stagger your appointments, right? And yeah, with these two solutions in place, you can basically manage your operation more effectively. I believe even after the circuit breaker is over and we actually resume, we reopen, business will probably drop, right? But you should you should really do whatever you can, start planning now, so that you can actually maximize your sales and minimize your wastage as much as you can, right? Yeah.
Right.
Also, hygiene factors, hygiene reasons, do consider converting all your menus to digital. You can, take a photo and all that and upload it to your iPad or tablet, or whatever you have. And maybe also consider e-payments to reduce cash handling. That will actually have more human context as well. But when you change to e-payments and all, you won't be exchanging cash and all, so reducing a lot of that. Plus, electronics devices are much easier to be sanitized, right? Yeah.
Yes.
The good thing is most of the solutions that I've actually mentioned above, previously, they actually have grants, and government, as Don has actually mentioned, most of the grants has actually been topped up. So PSG was previously 70%, now it has been up to 80%. And for advanced adoptions, and integrations,
Yes.
EDG previously was also 70%, now 90%. You can imagine
Oh.
that. So and all the PSG vendors, they are actually listed in Port Depot. So you go there, you can actually choose and call them up. Look for the one that you like best, you think that is more relevant to you. Right? And if you run another, don't worry about the cost. It will be affordable. Right? Yeah. Now, another solution that I would really like to actually recommend is actually e-commerce. Most of us, we are probably service providers, and our retail sales is actually maybe less than 20-30%. But earlier, during the lockdown, I think a lot of people has no more choice, right? But they actually try to actually sell products when they can't actually deliver their services. Now, you can actually also onboard an e-commerce platform such as Lazada, Shopee, QOO, and Amazon. To actually sell your retail's products to consumers by and large, expanding or extending it further than your customer base. There's actually grant for you to actually adopt this today. It is, and the support is actually very comprehensive. It doesn't only cover your purchase, it doesn't only subsidize your purchase, but it actually gives you a very comprehensive set of services to help you start from scratch. So don't worry that it is very difficult and all. You'll be handheld, to actually do this. So another option is probably to develop your own e-commerce website. I don't usually recommend this previously because it's difficult to actually build your online e-store, right? As compared to social medias as well as platforms which people are already in, but now it's really different. Many people has gotten used to shopping online during circuit breakers, and I think now is the right time to really consider about this. There's also grant if you engage a pre-approved PSG vendor to develop your own website, up to 80% for PSG, plus there's an additional 18% grant if you are eligible for SFEC, that adds up to 98%. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Yeah. Build up your own website. I think 2%, yeah, no need to think about it. I think everybody should actually give this a try.
I'm going to knock on your door also. Yeah, everyone should think about this, serious.
The beauty of developing your own e-commerce is that you can virtually sell everything the way you want it to sell. When you join a platform, you are restricted to the way they are actually structured and all. But if it's your own website, you decide how you want to actually sell. You can create a service, a program, and actually sell it online. Yeah, and you can link it to the online booking, the spa salon management software that I mentioned earlier, and you can literally market, sell, collect your payment upfront, and get reservation all at once.
Whoa, that's cool. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I think this is a good idea because at the end of the day, the staff will be happier. You don't have to do a lot of things manually. It makes the whole thing very transparent and efficient. And the best part is there are grants available. So yes, but people must know the existence of this kind of grants and what they actually have. What is actually available that they can actually use for grants. So that is where SWAS comes in place. So for people who are actually in this industry and you felt lost about what you can how you can move your business forward, please join us. Join SWAS. Allow us to help us. Yes, on the whole. So now, Raymond, please do not go away. I'm going to invite all the other speakers up again. All right, just hold on for a short while. I'm going to have, first of all, from back, Dr. Yvette, you're on. Next, we're going to have our power lady, Dawn. And of course, last but not least, we're going to have a drum roll. The president of SWAS.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We'll put all back on screen now. So I get it from Edward that you actually have an announcement to make for everyone who's online at this point of time. Edward, can you hear me, Edward?
Edward's mic is off.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, you can see.
Sorry. Okay, I got good news. I want to share. I can't wait.
Who wants good news?
I just heard that the beauty and wellness industry may be able to open in phase 2.
Oh,
wow, great news.
Yep. So we may be open by July. So I think it's good news for all.
Yes,
right?
yes, definitely. At least we see some
So
light at
those
the end.
to be open, get ready. You may be open by July.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
That's
So
great.
now I guess yes, everyone should act on it. Get prepared for opening. Train your staff. Ensure that they are all prep up and ready. When it's good to go, let's do it. So I'm just going to throw this question to all of you here. Okay, please feel free to answer if you can. All right, let's keep this light. It's lunchtime. Not too serious. So because now we are actually having this this lunchtime talk to benefit those in the industry. So maybe we could actually share over here with everyone. How is SWAS going to help the industry? I think everyone is interested to talk about what are we going to do? We can talk, but what can we do to help the industry? Yeah.
First of all, I must say that we have always been the bridge between the industry and government agencies. So we have provided a lot of feedback to government agencies about what is happening in the industry. We also mediate between government and industry on certain issues. So this is what we want to contribute. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Edward. So anyone from the floor who also wants to share in regards to this? Dawn?
Yes, I saw some of them asking the question: is there a SOP and standard operation practice for when we are going to be open? So I think we can come and join us at SWAS in our website, or you can be a member. We will have the SOP and even training from Yvette School. To get the real hygiene standards, the standard protocol for our industry. I think that would be very helpful for the whole industry. Yeah.
Right. So where can actually, members seek for assistance and then be updated?
Yvette.
Yvette, want to answer this?
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, under SWAS, right, we have actually come up certain guidelines for spa operation guideline. So this guideline, I think it will be very in depth on all the PPE and all the documentations. Yeah, I think this will be good for all spas to cover how you actually prepare yourself for the opening. So don't wait until July, then you open, you should actually start thinking of how to actually organize the online training now. Then when the time's up and then you're able to open, everything is snapshot ready. Then you can actually move forwards and start to, that will be a very happy thing. But don't wait until July, then send your people. Yeah.
That's true. So, okay, maybe now what we can do is let's open up the questions to people who are online now. So people who are actually watching right now, please let us know if there's any questions and let us know, if you want to address it to Edward or Dawn or Dr. Yvette, or in terms of IT side, will be Raymond. We'll be actually happy to address it. In the meantime, let me just see, was there any? Okay. Let me see if there's any questions online. Okay, there are actually people asking if, can send details of various grant to us. That's from Kimberly. So maybe what you can do, Kimberly, please feel free to PM us on SWAS Facebook page, and we'd be happy to connect up with you, So yes, because I don't think you can share all the details here. And Suzanne is asking if we could actually let them have a copy of the slides. Yeah, you could PM us for those who are interested in the slides, right? And you think it's actually helpful to you, please PM us as well on the Facebook, and we'd be happy to do that. And okay, let's see what else is there.
I think there are people asking how to get the grant for the courses, and where are the courses online available? Yeah.
You want to address that?
Again, same thing. We will actually post all these courses over at the SWAS website, and maybe inquiry hotline that you can actually call, and we will do physically one-to-one with your spa, so that it is better to understand by you asking your questions to a human, not a robot. Somebody will actually talk to you, and then you can ask them any questions. And so we'll post all this hotline over at SWAS website.
Right. Okay, now there's another question, which is over here. Many private-owned commercial landlords told us that, told some of us that waiver of rent doesn't apply to private-owned landlords. Anyone can clarify this?
Okay. Last week, I think 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with, there was a webinar, right, by Fortis, our advisor to SWAS. In fact, he did a very comprehensive talk on the tenants and the landlord rentals in arrears, So basically, it's mandatory. The government already say if you are a private entity, government has already returned the property tax for them. So they are supposed to actually give you that is mandatory. So the only thing is that because some of it depends on the title of the property. Let's say if your property is not a commercial one, you may not be able to get 100%. So it depends on if you're industrial, then there's another percentage, So these are all in details, and it's actually you have to go to, I think it's the Ministry of Finance website to understand this. Because it's quite complicated. Not every landlord is going to pay you, waive everything, Some they only, even the bigger landlords, the REITs and all them, they only The very generous one, they give you 2 months. The not so generous one, they give you 1 month plus something. You know, so yeah, only for the part of the property tax that is given by the government to the landlord, they have to return to you. But the rest is up to them. Yeah. So that's the reason why you have to go and negotiate. And then say, how long you going to support me? You know, if you don't let me open my shop, after I close already, next time, nobody is coming to open shop. You're going to leave it blank for 6 months or 1 year. So maybe that's the way you have to bargain. Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think, yes, basically it depends on the category. If you under commercial, it's 100%. That's what I know, commercial. Then those who are, for example, they are let's say on the second level of a shop. So they are under half office, half residential or what, then they may not get the full 100% of the property tax return, you see. Yeah.
Right. Okay, there's actually another question from Wendy. It's a long one. Let me just read it up. I believe most of the bosses here are shareholder employees too. So how you manage so far, as I believe you, just like me, are using our own reserves to pay for staff salaries, especially the foreign workers, rental and utilities. There is no subsidy or grant to help us self-employed in this industry. Thanks.
So for me, yes, it's correct. You have to take from your pocket. All the money you earn the last so many years, you have to start taking it out. You know, that is in part of the financial planning. I think the other thing is that a lot of the government have let the bank, come to give us support. If you want to take loans, I think loans is available. A lot of, for example, if you are a owner of a property, you can, even your staff, they have to pay installments, for their property. So what they do is the government already give banks, ask the bank to actually defer all your loan payment, your installment payment. Maybe you have to pay the interest, but you can defer your principal payment until the end of the year. This is to help in the cash flow. The other things that you can do is, of course, I mean, you have to negotiate with your staff also. I mean, whatever you can cut the cost at this point of time, you really have to be prudent. I think prudence is a very important thing at this point of time. So we have to spend wisely the money that you're going to invest in the future. So you have to really look into those training and all that, so that you are ready to make back all the money you lost now. You have to accept the losses. Yeah.
Okay, true. Thanks, Don. So, okay, let me see. There's actually another question. That's addressed to, I think I saw a question that's addressed to Edward. Okay, there's a question that's addressed to Edward. All right, Edward, is beauty services still under Tier 3, though we have petitioned to upgrade to Tier 2 for JSS?
Yes, it's still under Tier 3. There's no change to that. But I hope the government will consider seriously, because as I mentioned earlier, Tier 3, 25% is not even enough to pay for CPF, much less, to subsidize wages.
Yeah, that's why. So that's the reason why everybody joins SWAS. Then we can go and petition.
Yes, I hope the government will seriously consider this part.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so that's another question from Wendy. So let me just read this out as well. I understand some aesthetic clinics are reopening under phase 1. Why is there a double standard to this, as I believe these clinics are also offering skincare treatments, and that we, the beauty salons, are offering too?
I don't think so, I don't think they are allowed to open for aesthetic. Even normal clinics, if it's not an emergency case and GP, they are not even allowed to open. Let's say, for example, a dentist. I have friends who are dentists. When they do the dentist, for example, like the plucking tooth, those emergency service you can do. But if it's for aesthetic, orthodontics, also you cannot do.
Okay, I hope we answer your question, Wendy. So let me see. Okay, so that's another comment, this is from Michelle. She was saying, if we renew our lease now in June, it will be out of the clause protecting contracts before March 2020 and just fall under the goodwill of landlords. What do you all think of this?
Yeah, this is the case. If you sign the contract, then you let's say if you don't pay, that's what is this new thing about, is that if you sign your lease is before February 26, you are actually protected in these 6 months. They cannot evict you, you know, from April onwards. So they cannot evict you. But if you sign in June, that means after February 26, then you are not protected under the 6 months. So you have to talk to the landlord because you want to continue your business, right? So you have to negotiate again. Yeah.
Okay, there's an interesting comment here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Edward, sorry, I interrupted you. Please continue.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, no, okay.
Basically, my view is the same as Dawn, because I think if you have not signed the contract, make sure you negotiate at this moment before you sign the contract. Make sure you get the terms right. This is not an easy time to do business, and I think the landlord should understand.
But not.
There's also a new law coming out, you know, on property. So it may be good if you want to sign a contract to read that as well.
Okay, there's a feedback from Claire. I think we could actually take a look at this as well. SWAS should be looked at its membership fee in view of COVID.
Well, SWAS membership fee is very low, actually, $360 for corporate. So if you think it is $360 a year is too much, please let us know. We consider.
Okay, so we are open for negotiation.
I mean, this difficult time, of course, we want to support everybody in the industry.
Yes.
So you think that $360 a year is too much, let us know. We will consider.
Right. So, okay, there's another feedback on by Chua Bing Hua. He's saying that I'm sure the aesthetic clinic are open in phase 1. They actually restricted aesthetic clinics to acne pigmentation treatment only. Can you leverage on this for negotiation? This is true, you know. They can actually do for acne and pigmentation, because I've got aesthetic doctors friends who are actually sharing, saying that they are open for this.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah. So
So,
yes, well, we will take note of that. Yeah.
So Alan is commenting that the fee is affordable. However, we need more activities and activities that can benefit all members. So Alan is happy with whatever rates that we are charging at this point of time. It's just he would like us to be more active and be seen in the industry. So yes, thank you for your feedback. We will actually take note on this. Okay.
Can I say a few words to Alan, please?
Oh yeah, of course.
Alan, stay tuned. There will be a lot of things coming up.
Yeah.
Please remember to join us when we call you.
More people join.
you
us,
know
we have more
Alan,
resources, we can do more things.
Okay, so there's another feedback from Michelle. Okay, many customers choose spas as a go-to place for chronic back pains instead of TCM. Those who consider spas as luxury services will be the ones not coming to spas anyway. So the need basis will sieve out those in need on an essential basis. And FYI, Alan saying he's a member. Chester is commenting, acne and hyperpigmentation that is deemed as a chronic illness, not as treatment. They are actually, okay, there's this Wendy asking how much the bank offers a certain bank rate that we have not attended to when we approach one. Okay, I think one of the members actually talk about banks. So maybe one of you could actually share in terms of because you guys at this point of time would definitely need to get loans for your businesses. So how do you actually would advise businesses out there who needs to get loan? How do they go about doing it? What are the steps, and who they could approach?
I think
the government has already set up schemes to help SMEs. All right. But you have to understand that there are thousands and thousands of applications. So the banks are all loaded, with applications. Yes. So if you are not in front, you are those that, just joined not too long ago, you may have to wait, for them to clear, some of these overloads. But my suggestion is always talk to the bank officer. I mean, if you have submitted to the bank, you can always write in and inquire about your application. Talk to the officer in charge and say, hey, look, I have a need. Can you consider? Most probably, you have to submit all the documentation that they require. So these are some of the things you can help speed up, your application.
Right. Okay. Sure. All right. So I think I see no other questions at this point of time. But keep your questions question coming in on our Facebook, because for those who have actually missed this live session, right, we will actually leave this live stream on our Facebook page. And also we have a petition and a survey going on at this point of time. So help us fill that in as well. And most importantly, we'll need all of you who are actually not SWAS member now to come and join us, because unity is strong. Once we form a very strong group of businesses that comes together with one voice, we could actually, request or we could feedback on things and we'll be heard. Nobody will hear from an organization that's, okay, there's only probably this amount, but if we all come together, let's not scatter and write in to government on your own, come join us, join SWAS. This is where we can come in and we can help you, and we could come together in one voice to help the whole industry. So please look out for us. We're definitely going to have more activities. And on top of that, we'll be having more lunchtime talks like this if you ask for it. So if you like what you are seeing today and listening today, and you think this has benefited you, please give us some feedback as well. We'll be happy to see how we could actually help all of us in this industry together. So for now, I'd like to thank all our speakers. I'd like to thank Edward, John, Dr. Yvette, and Raymond for sharing. All of you have been wonderful and very insightful. I learned a lot. I really, really learned a lot and really appreciate that. So thank you everyone who has been tuning in, and we look forward to see you on our next session of Lunchtime Talk.
Yes,
so,
I'd like to thank Celeste also. Thank you for being such a lively and wonderful host.
Yes, thank you everyone here. Thank you, SWAS, for the opportunity.
Thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for tuning in also. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Nice talking to you.
Yes, everyone from SWAS, please stay home, stay safe, and we look forward to see you back at our salon soon in the meantime.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So see you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day and the weekend.
Bye.
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 Bye.